Hello everybody, today we are here on our third installment of Uke'n Talk Vintage Style, and today we're talking about the Gibson. So Ryan, why don't you tell us about this fantastic find that you picked up not too long ago?
Thank you. Gibson. I love Gibson. This is the Gibson, as you hopefully can see on the headstock. I waited quite a while to find one that says the Gibson, which is silk screened on the headstock, because that's the older incarnation of Gibson.
Perfect. The quality of that is just fantastic.
It's very fine work. Gibson actually got into the game kind of late as compared to Martin. Martin was kind of the gold standard around the time that Gibson got into the game, but they got in and they built fine instruments. And they didn't build in the volume that Martin did. Mm-hmm. And I love Martin. You'll hear us compare things to Martin, but for me, Martin is a wonderful instrument and they're fabulous, but there's a lot of other wonderful stuff out there, like Gibson. Gibson built far fewer instruments compared to Martin. And there really aren't a lot of records that I know of. Someone out there might. But how many they made. This is the most basic style.
And they had, a 0 or 1, 2, and 3?
Gibson built all kinds of stuff. They weren't as consistent as Martin was with their style 1, 2, 3. But they kind of were similar. And then Gibson did all kinds of painted ukes. People know about the poinsettia uke and different ukes that they built. But this is maybe the more common, except this is an earlier than what you see when they just say Gibson on the headstock. Mm-hmm. Solid mahogany. The body in general is a little heavier, just a little tiny bit heavier as compared to like a really light Martin, which gives it a little different tone. And it's a little punchier. It's maybe the tiniest bit thinner sound. The fretboard, we were just looking at it together.
Exactly.
We can't exactly figure out. It's dark, really dark. Perhaps could be ebony, perhaps not.
We noticed there's some stain that kind of goes over the edge of the fretboard as well. So it was a little confusing because you almost thought it was a different type of wood looking at the side, but getting a bright light upon close inspection, we saw there's a stain that kind of goes over the edge, which threw us off a little bit, but think it's ebony, but we're still not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the saddle appears to be ebony. It's dark as can be. It's got a really simple rosette, which I really, really like. Really nice little inlay rosette.
And what kind of tuners are on this? Are those the original tuners, you think, from Gibson?
These are definitely the original tuners. They were made by Waverly, and sometimes people find these with a little Waverly, it actually says it on it. These don't. They're actually reproducing these tuners now. A lot of people like to get these for, restorations and stuff. They're expensive. It's a good vintage tuner. They hold up well. They work really well. And it's a clean, simple uke. And, if you can find one out there, I say grab a Gibson. For every 100 vintage Martins that come on the market, I see maybe fewer than 10 Gibsons.
The finish on this looks really nice. I know you are a master at cleaning up old ukes and making them look nice without any super magic, just your special cleaning techniques. And this one looks really nice. I mean, the finish there's no checking at all. It's all even. It's really nice polish to it. And I'm curious, were any repairs done to this ukulele?
There are no repairs to this instrument whatsoever. This ukulele, kind of, as you can see up close, it kind of looks like it just came out of a music store brand new.
It looks brand new.
And I really feel like this ukulele was not played. And in fact, when I got it, it sounded terrible. And I was really disappointed and really deflated because I was really hopeful that it would sound great. And
change the strings.
Well, I changed the strings and I played it, and I like to keep my ukuleles out. There's always music in my home, and so they're always resonating. And
very important to keeping those things open. And
I find that a ukulele that hasn't been played really is tight, and it opened. It started to resonate, and it sounds really nice now.
Great. Well, why don't you give us a sample of the ukulele, and we'll see how this thing...
Why don't you give us a sample of the ukulele?
Oh, you go ahead. Maybe on another video I'll get one. Great. Well, thanks for showing us the Gibson. This was from the year.
Oh, we didn't say.
Yeah.
This was in the 30s, 1930s, and there's really no way that I'm aware of to date a Gibson more precisely, except for what the headstock label, headstock silk screen says. So, 1930s, maybe late 20s into the early 30s.
Great. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Uke'n Talk Vintage Style, and keep watching my YouTube channel. We'll have some more coming up shortly. Thank you.